We spend about a third of our entire lives completely vulnerable, totally defenseless, asleep. But what if that vulnerability wasn't a liability? What if it was actually an asset? Well, today, we're diving into a pretty radical idea that wants to turn our sleep into a brand new kind of currency. It's all powered by AI, and it's built on the bedrock of trust. It's called the sleeping contract. And right there, that's the heart of it. The goal here is huge, to create a single, measurable global standard for how people behave when no one's watching. So this isn't just about tracking sleep patterns, it's about putting a number on safety and respect. Okay, so before we get into all the AI and the economics, we really have to get our heads around the philosophy here. Let's start with the foundation of this whole idea, the powerful connection between providing safety and creating real value. So what is the sleeping contract, really? I love this phrase. It's a verified act of trust. Just think about that for a second. The system is designed to essentially watch over you while you sleep and then stamp it with a seal of approval that says, yep, this person was safe, this host was respectful. And that single act of verification is what generates everything else, the data, the value, and the right to be trusted in return.
It all works because these four principles just lock together perfectly. First, the system makes a bold claim: providing safety has inherent measurable value. Second, it uses our most vulnerable state, sleep, as the ultimate test of that safety. Third, data becomes the cold, hard, impartial evidence that the contract was actually honored. And finally, if you prove you're trustworthy, you earn the right to get that same trust back from others. It's a really neat loop.
This whole idea of safety as value isn't pulled out of thin air. It has some really deep ethical roots. The concept actually draws inspiration from this profound idea that goodness, at its core, is simply about not causing harm to others. The sleeping contract is basically trying to take this ancient wisdom and plug it into a modern, verifiable system, a system that might just help solve some of the huge trust issues we see in today's sharing economy. Okay, so the philosophy is pretty compelling, but how in the world do you actually monitor and enforce a contract like this? Well, this is where the tech comes in. Let's meet the AI guardian that makes this entire thing possible. So this table really breaks down how the smart contract works. The AI verifies the basics, right? Where and when the sleep happened. But the really critical part is the safety outcome and the behavioral data. The AI is listening for these tiny signals, like unusual noises or movement where there shouldn't be, to confirm that everything was okay. And if the night goes off without a hitch, a secure reciprocity ledger, maybe on a blockchain, automatically rewards both the host and the guest. Trust literally becomes a secure logged transaction. So the AI is really wearing four different hats here. First, it's the verifier, just confirming the facts. Second, it's the analyst, constantly looking for patterns to predict and prevent risk. And this is a big one. It's also the privacy protector, encrypting all the sensitive data so only key metrics are stored. And finally, it's the ultimate matchmaker, using all that trust data to pair good people with other good people. It's the system's totally impartial brain. Okay, so we've got a system for verifying that someone is trustworthy. Now for the big question. How does that good behavior become a real, tangible asset you can actually use? This is where we get into the currency of sleep. Honestly, the best way to wrap your head around this sleep safety score is to compare it to something we all know, a financial credit score, right? Your credit score measures how reliable you are with money. The sleep safety score measures how reliable you are with other people's safety. One gets you access to loans and credit cards. The other gets you access to safe places to stay, to travel, to human connection. It's a brilliant way to think about a new kind of social capital. And this score isn't just for show. It has immediate, real-world consequences. As you can see, a high score gets you seamless, global access to the entire network. A medium score might mean you need a few extra verification steps, but a low score? Well, a low score means your access gets restricted. The system directly rewards trustworthy behavior with freedom and convenience. But what if your score does drop? This is a really crucial point. The system isn't just about punishment. If someone's score plummets because of a bad incident, they aren't just locked out forever. Instead, the system triggers mandatory retraining, offering them a path to learn, improve, and eventually rejoin the network. It's built around rehabilitation, not just penalties. All right, so we've seen how it works on the individual level. Now let's zoom out. How do millions and millions of these little interactions create an entire self-sustaining economy? So get this. This table shows how value is created, and it's not just about safety anymore. Now, the actual quality of your sleep, your deep and REM cycles, generates health credits. Even data about what brands you might interact with when you wake up can generate value. A single night of sleep suddenly becomes this multi-layered economic event. So you might be wondering who's actually paying for all this data. Well, a whole lot of different players. Brands get these incredible, intimate insights into consumer wellness. Healthcare systems get huge troves of anonymized health data. AI companies get behavioral data to make their models better. The value being created is so broad and diverse, and that's what fuels the whole economy. And all of this creates this perfect, self-powering engine. Your sleep generates data. That data gives brands insights they pay for. That payment funds a system and makes more safe beds available. And more beds mean more people sleeping in the system, which generates more data, and the cycle just starts all over again. It's designed to be completely self-sustaining. So after all that, what can you actually buy with these sleep credits? The rewards are pretty amazing. You get access to a safe bed basically anywhere in the world. The AI can act as a perfect matchmaker, pairing you with the ideal host. Brands might even sponsor your travel just to get access to your valuable data. Your high trust score could even get you lower insurance premiums. All right, for our final section, let's look at the really big picture here. Because beyond all the tech and the economics, the source material poses this as nothing less than a test of our collective maturity as a civilization. I mean, the ultimate vision here is just massive. The system aims to provide real solutions for homelessness by making sure anyone with a good trust score can find a safe place to sleep. It imagines a world of true universal travel freedom, creates a brand new hospitality economy, and even tries to build global empathy by connecting total strangers within a framework of safety and trust. And it all boils down to this new, incredibly simple social contract. Just 4 reciprocal rules. Everyone has a role to play, and every single action has a clear, positive outcome. Hosting, sleeping, behaving, sharing, each one is an active part of this amazing cycle of safety and value. This final quote really just flips the whole idea on its head. It argues that a system built on mutual, verifiable respect, that's not an act of giving. It's an act of building. It is the signature of an advanced, compassionate, and mature society. It's not charity, it's civilization. And that just leaves us with one last really provocative thought to chew on. In a world where our most vulnerable state can be measured, monetized, and turned into a currency of trust, who are the ultimate winners? Is it us, the individuals? Is it the corporations? Or is it society as a whole? That's something to think about.